Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste to everyone and welcome to the retreat. So in this retreat we are going to study Kena Upanishad. It is very, very beautiful, this Upanishad, and it comes in the Samaved. So Samaved is a very, you can chant it very well, Samaved mantras. So this Upanishad can be chanted very well. It's got a beautiful intonation, which I'll do the chanting as we go into the Upanishad, and you can just follow it. But the ideas in this Upanishad are so profound and so meaningful, so I would say it's the very culmination of human thought and understanding, I would say. The kind of questions they are putting, see, the very Upanishad means, Kena means by what? It's a question. By what am I able to see? By what am I able to hear? By what am I able to think? So is there something which is the source, cause for all of this activity going on? My perceptions, cognitions, memory, everything. Is there a cause to that? So we are going to go deep into the primordial cause of all causes. There is one supreme cause due to which everything else appears to be functioning. So this Upanishad is entirely going into that. And for that, first I will go into the Shanti mantra. Every Upanishad has a peace chant. So just follow the peace chant. Om apyayantu mamangani vagpranaschakshu shrotramatho balam indriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarod anirakaranamastu anirakaraname astu tadatmani nirateya upanishadso dharmaste mahi santo te mahi santo. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is a prayer. The Upanishad begins this way, that let all my senses, my vital energies, my buddhi, my intellect and my mind, may all of them be well developed. You see, this is what they are saying. May my limbs, speech, vital force, eyes, ears, as also strength of all my organs become well developed, become acute, become pointed, so that I may discover the source of all this. The primordial cause of all activity. Everything is the Brahman revealed in the Upanishads. See, this is what he is saying. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam and Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. May I not deny Brahman. May I not deny this primordial cause, the source of everything. May I not deny it. Don't we deny it? When we don't think along these lines, we are actually denying. We think, these things are functioning by themselves. So we will go into that also. The prayer says, may I not deny Brahman and may not Brahman deny me. Let there be no spurning of Brahman and let there be no rejection of me by Brahman. May all the virtues that are spoken of in the Upanishads repose in me, who am engaged in the pursuit of the self, may they repose in me. This is the Shanti mantra, which we will repeat in actually it is repeated every time you chant the Upanishad. But let me dwell deeply on this. What are they trying to say? See, all of our senses, mind, intellect, all of this, we feel it is functioning, these are functioning by themselves. Like, see, I am seeing objects around me. All around me I see objects, I see people. So if you ask me, how do you see objects? I'll say through my eyes, which means I'm automatically assuming my eyes are the source of all my perceptions, and there's nothing more to it. But tell me, are the eyes the sources of our, or the visual cortex? Is it the brain? Yeah, you can close this. Is it the brain? Is it the eye? What is it that is the source factor? Or is there something beyond even that? See, this is what we have to think deeply about. Every perception, every mentation, every cognition, what is the ultimate source factor? So that is why the very first prayer is saying, may all these be well developed, that I may be able to grasp the truth of Brahman. The source is neither the eye, nor the brain, nor the mind. It is consciousness, they are saying. Brahman here denotes supreme divine consciousness which manifests in us as the Atman, as you can say a unit of pure consciousness that reflects in the mind and makes the mind sort of activated, and that reflects in the sense organs, makes them bright and capable of, drawing the electromagnetic radiation being thrown out by objects. So if you ask a scientist what perception is, he will say it's a combination of electromagnetic radiation coming from the object and our neurochemistry. There's nothing more to it. But the Upanishad is telling us Brahman, pure consciousness, is the source factor for all perceptions, meditations, memories, thoughts, feelings, emotions, actions, everything. The source factor is consciousness. So that is why Sarva Brahma Upanishadam, the Brahman spoken of by the Upanishads, that is the supreme cognizer. That is the one source factor for all of this. And may I not deny that Brahman. We deny Brahman in many ways. When when our mind is only outward bound and not willing to look within, aren't we denying Brahman? We are denying the God within us, isn't it? And when our senses are so overactive, today's generations live in a world of overstimulation of senses. Isn't it denying Brahman? We never look within. You know the story of never looking within? There's a very beautiful story in our Puranas. It seems these gods and demons are periodically there are fights and wars, battles between them. So in one such battle, these asuras, the demons, they overcame the devas, the gods. And all these gods, Indra, Varun, Agni, these gods had to run away from the heavens. And the asuras, the demons went and occupied the heavens. So they took away the seat of Indra. And then even the next place they wanted to attack, the next conquest was on Vaikunt. So Lord Vishnu also got scared. Now what to do? Where do I go? Where do I go? So he went to Kailash and asked Lord Shiva, where shall I go and hide? All these, they have gone and hidden in various places, these gods. But where do I go? If those demons come into Vaikuntha, where will I go? Then Shiva tells him, there is one place they will never look. They will, if you go and hide somewhere on earth, they are the masters of the elements now. They will find you in the oceans or in the forests or wherever you hide, they will find you. But if you enter into the heart of the Asura king, he will never find you because they never look within. Asura, demon means one who never looks within. Never wants to know anything about the subjective mechanism. Doesn't have an iota of idea about subjective consciousness. He's all objective. He will only look outside. So you go and hide in the Asura's heart. And you see if they will find you. So that's what Vishnu did. The story goes, it's a Puranic story, In the Puranas, great truths are put in a way in which, the common mind can understand. In story format. So the Vishnu goes and hides in the heart of the Asura king. And the Asuras search for him everywhere. All over the planet. Where nobody's been before, they go. All over Antarctica and Arctic and everywhere. And they don't find him. Because they never search their hearts. And that's where he's been hiding. So the same thing applies to us. But once God is hiding in the heart, in your heart will undergo a transformation. So the Asura king also underwent an inner transformation, and gradually, he suddenly started getting thoughts like, well, I shouldn't misbehave with the Devas. I should give them back what belongs to them. I should be happy with what I have. So all these beautiful thoughts came into his mind, and it seems he gradually returned Vaikuntha and heaven and everything to the gods. The story goes like this. But what the story is pointing towards is, an Asura mind will not easily look within. We know so much about the external world. External world in our scriptures is called the external Prakriti. And we know very little about the internal Prakriti, our inner nature. See, our mind, the way our senses function, the way our intellect functions, the limits of the mind, the limits of our logic, all this we don't pay much attention to. We are very happy with grappling with the problems of the outer world and studying the external world, and we almost know everything about the known universe. So much of exploration has taken place, so much of scientific advancement has taken place, but we don't even recognize words like prana, vital energy, buddhi, higher intelligence, what constitutes higher intelligence, and atma, what is called pure consciousness, the soul, you can say. It's a rough translation. The concept of soul in Indian spiritual heritage is the Atman, a unit of pure consciousness, not the higher mind. So we don't know much about the subjective mechanism at all, and we are all objective. So that is why you see the starting prayer of this Upanishad is, may all these, my limbs and my sense organs and mind, buddhi, everything be well developed so that I may find the source of my perception, cognition, mentation. I must be able to find that primordial cause for everything, and that is Brahman. And may I not deny him, and may he not deny me. This is the great prayer of the Kena Upanishad. So you see, these things must originally come to us. Upanishadic study only begins not when you come to Pangot Ashram or you go to a teacher. It begins when our mind starts thinking originally for itself. Then only you can come to the Upanishads. Otherwise, you see, if it's somebody's thoughts, somebody's ideas, somebody's conviction, and somebody's mantras, what would it matter to me? Tell me. It must be my question. And then the answer will hit me. So it's a sort of personal inner research that is required. In the Upanishads, it's entirely like that. Upanishad itself means sitting close to a teacher in order to derive knowledge of Brahman. So the Upanishads were entirely transmitted by word of mouth. No writing, no internet in those days. It's all about hearing it from the mouth of the teacher, one who has long dwelt on, the Brahman consciousness. And only then it can be grasped. That is why this knowledge is so rare. Today, in various ways, people are trying to come to it because, we are facing so many mental challenges in this particular age. This is the age of mental health challenge because I told you, we live in the wilderness of overstimulation. There used to be only one kind of wilderness, this. Now there is this whole new kind of wilderness. We are not able to, go through it maturely. We are not able to understand it. And that is this overstimulation of the brain with all sorts of things, bombardment of from various sources coming into our mind. We don't have time to process it, and it overwhelms us from time to time. So if we have to get out of this wilderness, it is very important to develop a science of consciousness. What constitutes human consciousness? What constitutes clarity of mind, clarity of awareness? And how do we build focus, concentration, memory, and a purposeful, meaningful life? Otherwise, just floating along this overstimulating all kinds of, effects falling on us all the time. This is the whole modern problem in this particular age. So taking care of the inner mechanism, our mind, and understanding how it works and having some level of self-knowledge, this is mandatory to a mature life. Otherwise, we are just, everything will happen by chance and by accident in our life. Nothing as the way we want it. Because we are on compulsive mode. Hardly conscious. Have you seen people hardly conscious? Yes, many people are like that. Either always going on that, anger mode, or an undercurrent of dissatisfaction or jealousy or some negative something, and constantly busy with what is totally unnecessary, never with a peaceful, calm, stable mind. So you see, this is the problem. That is why self-knowledge is so very important. Not just to meet these challenges. You see, this must be the original question for a really developed thinking mind. What is the nature of my own being? What is it that is the changeless factor in me? What is the source of all my perceptions and meditations? Who am I truly? What is the unchanging factor in me? If this has arisen in us originally by itself, Upanishads are for you. They will open the way to further research. Because all research in spiritual life is, it's personal inner research. It's first person research. There's no third person research. Yes, because you are going to dive deep within yourself. See, you remember this one thing. You find it out for yourself just now. Do you experience the body in the first person or in the third person? Body is always object to you. So you experience it in the third person. Obviously, you are not the body, merely. Even your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your memories, all of them you are experiencing in the third person. See, your thoughts don't feel like mine. They feel like mine. My thought is mine, but it's not me. Does your thought feel like it's you? No, it's your thought, which means you are quite apart from it. Thought is also objective to you. It's an object of your perception. So then who's the subject? Who is it who watches the mind? Who is it who knows the different states of the mind? Who is it who perceives memory? Who is it who interprets memory? On what screen do perceptions and memories and sensations arise and fall? How is it that the same eye persists throughout? Although there are different memories, different experiences falling on your screen all the time. How does it become my experience? See, these are the original questions. If this is there in us, the Upanishads will make a lot of sense. Otherwise, with some old antique literature, it will appear like that. They are very contemporary, very modern to a mind which is very acute, an intellect which is very sharp. So, this is how the Kena Upanishad actually begins. Before I actually go into the mantras of the Upanishads, I want to give you a good philosophical stand. I would say you must stand on a proper philosophy of Vedanta and Sankhya, because without that, you can't actually grasp what they are trying to say. See, when we are asking a question like, what is the cause of all causes? Vedanta will recognize two types of causes. They call it Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana. Upadana Karana means the material cause of something. And Nimitta Karana means the efficient or intelligent cause of something. Now the material cause of this table, it's matter and its cause is plastic. It's made of plastic. Or if it's that table, it's a wooden table. So the material cause is wood. But the efficient cause is the maker. Who made it? The intelligent being who made this. So when it comes to this world, prapancha, means that which impinges on our five senses. That is the prapancha. So who made this? So then now different philosophies will give you different, causes. If it is Nyaya Vaisheshika, they will say, oh, here, if you see this prapancha, this entire world, then the material cause of this world is atoms. Even science will tell you this, isn't it? It's all made of atoms, whatever you call it. And at the core, what is it? It's proton, neutron, electron, and then quarks and superstrings, and everything is made up of the same thing. Because if you cut it down, this is what you'll find. Yes, physics will tell you this. So this is one worldview. This is the material cause for this entire world of manifestation. Now, other philosophies will say, no, it's not true. This entire world of manifestation is nothing but Prakriti nature. There is an external nature, there is an internal nature. So Sankhya is going to tell you this. This entire world of manifestation is nothing but the 5 elements in different combinations, and it's all nature, it's all Prakriti. And even our internal nature, our mind, buddhi, ahankar, this jnanendriyas, the 5 senses, the karmendriyas, the 5 organs of action, all of that also are Prakriti, internal Prakriti. So you have external Prakriti, the world around you, and internal Prakriti, your own system. Even mind is Prakriti, it is subtle matter according to Sankhya and Vedanta. So all of this is Prakriti. So this world is nothing but Prakriti Parinama, which means the, you can say, transformation of Prakriti is the manifestation of the world. Just like how you can convert milk into curd, Prakriti has converted herself into this world of manifestation. This is Sankhya. And many scientists come to this. They actually subscribe to this view, that there is one substance which has become all of this. But Vedanta is a development over Sankhya. Vedanta will tell you, oh, it's not that Prakriti has become all of this. All of this is nothing but an appearance of not even Prakriti. There's a source to Prakriti, which is the Purusha. Purusha means consciousness itself, pure consciousness. That is appearing as all of this. Nothing has got transformed. Milk has not got transformed into curd. Consciousness is appearing as Prakriti. See, for example, the table. Same example if we take. I can say the table is made up of, atoms or wood. But Vedanta will say wood is appearing as the table. It is not that table is there in wood. Or it's only made up of atoms. All that they are saying is wood alone is appearing as table to your senses and mind. It's an interpretation what you are doing. Your perceptions are interpretations of your mind and senses. It is wood alone that appears as table, and everything in this universe, in fact, is nothing but an appearance of Brahman. One consciousness appears in so many forms. So that is the cause of causes. That is the primordial cause, even of Prakriti. There's only one cause. There are no two realities. As Sankhya posits, that there is Prakriti and Purusha, Vedanta will say, monistic Vedanta will say, no, there is only one. And Prakriti also is an appearance in Purusha. All of this is only consciousness. So this Vedanta, this particular understanding of Vedanta is what is called, finally, it's called Vivartavad, which means everything is an appearance in consciousness. They give various examples, you will find it in the Upanishads. Just like how you see ocean, it has so many things, but primarily it's only water, isn't it? You will have surf, you will have bubbles, you will have waves, you will have all water in so many forms, you will have ice and icebergs, but it's all only water in different formations, in different appearances. It's something like that. So this is called Vivartavad. No real transformation has happened, but appearances, it appears as many things. It's only water. So this Vivartavad led to what is called Ajatavad, which means no actual creation has taken place. Nothing has actually been created. So this is how Indian philosophy has tried to understand this world and the reality of pure being, reality of Brahman. So I just gave you a snippet, a glimpse into how our philosophies are trying to understand it. Please remember, philosophy is the mother of science. They are not two different disciplines. The very search for truth which philosophy took up, that developed into the different sciences. That's what your PhD degree says, isn't it? Doctorate of the philosophy of this subject. All philosophy is proto-science, sort of. But they have very advanced ideas when it comes to subjective science, when it comes to consciousness. Because what insight actually the Upanishads are throwing into consciousness, you will not even find that in modern science. They have not come to that level, not even neuroscience. We are only studying the brain. We are not studying consciousness in itself. Only in the Upanishads you will find this deep study. So you see, the whole search, the hunt is for the cause behind all effects. See, that is why all the laws of science, what is a law? It is the relationship between cause and effect. So that's why even science puts down so many laws, which means they are also trying to find the causes for every effect. Even these Upanishads are trying to find the ultimate cause for all manifestation, the primordial cause. So these rishis, see, a rishi mind is required for Upanishad. What is a rishi mind? Who's a rishi? A rishi is a mantra drashta, which means he has insight into the nature of truth embedded in that mantra. His knowledge is not, acquired knowledge from books or from somebody. He has original insight into something very deep. He is a rishi. So these rishis were men of great austerity actually, and penetrating insight. And that is why the Upanishads are so powerful and so meaningful even today. Because a very well-developed mind, when it is able to go deep into truth concerning anything, it is going to throw tremendous knowledge. So this is what you will find in the Upanishads. They are going to the very heart of the problem. They are going into the very nature of consciousness. But then you will ask, how do we go into it? We can study the Upanishads. It will be Shravan. That's what we are going to do. Then you will be doing Manan in our meditation hours. Even at other times, you will be thinking about it. Thinking repeatedly about it. What happens is, those particular vrittis get well stabilized. Constantly they will flash out truth to you. And it clears up the mind, Manan. And then you will be doing Nididhyasan, which means meditation. Nididhyasan must be done in such a way, it will give you the effect of Samadhi. Which means you are now riveted to the truth born of deep thinking. So these are the 3 steps of Vedanta. If I have to convert a third person thought into first person experience, I require these steps. I require Nididhyasan most of all. See, the root for Dhyan and Nididhyasan is the same. Dhyayi dhatu, which means full riveted attention being paid to the subject in such a way, now I experience it, it becomes my own. This ability of the human mind we have to manufacture. You sort of go beyond mind at that stage. So then only truth is revealed. See, there's a world of difference between acquiring truth through logical means and acquiring it as direct insight. When you use logic, say, you know what? You are only using your Manomai-kosh. In direct insight, all your Pancha-koshas will be affected. It impacts all the 5 koshas. Your very body, mind, and you know the Pancha-koshas, don't you? Annamai-kosh, body, Pranamai-kosh, the vital energy sheath, and then Manomai-kosh, the mind, Vijnanamai-kosh, the higher intellect, and Anandamaya Kosh, which is the causal sheath. All of them will be impacted. And this logic is a function of your buddhi, while direct insight goes far beyond buddhi. It ushers you into the state of awareness. If there is clarity of awareness, you will know what Upanishad mean by Atman Brahman. You know, those who have realized the truth have realized it even without Shabda Brahman, without knowing all these concepts. It's not a concept finally, isn't it? What is a concept? Concept is an idea which your mind makes up regarding the subject. But what is an anubhuti? It's not an idea. It is, see, the fact is, Atman is already existing. Now you found an insight into it, that's all. You are never going to find it as an object because you are already it now. You are already the consciousness you are trying to find. So you'll never find it. I'm telling you. You will never ever find it through the senses, mind as an object. You can only be it. And for that there's a definite technique. So these primary things we should understand. Another thing is logic, because it is of the mind, of the buddhi. The limits of the mind apply to the limits of logic. So you are not going to get the truth that way. Logic is meant to generate intellectual conviction so that through your sadhana, through your manan and nididhyasana, you manufacture the insight. It's the means. It's not the end. So don't think just intellectual conviction and I'm done. No. Actually speaking, the truth of the Atman, how does it come to us? It comes to us only as a recognition. Because I told you, you're already that. So you will never find it. You will only be it. In our sanest moment of life, we will recognize that we are that always. And recognition leads to pure being. So now you revel in the nature of the Atman. This is the way of realization. See, the more we go ahead in this path, you will see milestones. You will be able to see clearly how clarity comes into the mind. So then, now your attention is acute. More and more clarity comes. You will see awareness has come to the forefront. So then, no more is awareness a concept. And then you will understand there is no other way of going into consciousness rather than becoming deeply conscious yourself. And not thinking about what awareness might be. That is why, you see, every spiritual stalwart has said this. You drop the mind on the way. You drop the mind on the way. You drop symbols. You drop rituals. You drop the mind itself. There's a saying in Buddhism. On your way, if you find the Buddha, kill him. What they are trying to say is, every symbol, everything that your mind is used to, it's not enough. His nature, Buddha's nature, is the I am. You must find that in your first person experience. Are you catching me? Are you getting the point? I am sense. Pin it down and study it for what it is. You see, you're capable of it. That itself shows you are pure awareness. You are the import of that I am. You know, Nisargadatta Maharaj did only this much. His guru told him, focus on the I am sense within you. And you will come to the knowledge of Brahman. He did only this much. So you see, what we require for Brahmajnan is already there. And the greatest truth is you are already Brahman. That's why you are not finding it. But the meaning of this is, if you are trying to find Brahman, you are going to be disappointed. As you go on finding him, attempting to find him, you will become pure being. This is what happens. So you see, that is why the real, Shuddha Advaita will tell you, well, even the means are unnecessary because you are already that. But until it has come into our first person experience, you must adopt some means. Sadhana is very important. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana, standard sadhana. You can employ many other things like study of scriptures, retreats, constantly meditation and thinking of these things, charcha on this, going to holy people. See, the best, easiest way to go into this knowledge is holy company. The company of a great mind will naturally bring this into us. So, see this inner whoosh, what is called, which means inner awakened consciousness. This great mind can directly bring into your life. I remember one nice incident. You see, suddenly it came to my mind. Girish used to visit Sri Ramakrishna. You remember? He was such a drunkard that he would say, in that state, he would be reeling, and he would say that if you count the number of bottles I have had, it will go above Mount Everest. If you just place one bottle over the other, that much he would drink. And he himself used to say, there's no sin I have not committed. Okay, so when he would come to Sri Ramakrishna, many times he would come reeling. And Sri Ramakrishna would be sitting there and smiling. Girish enters the room, and then Sri Ramakrishna is able to make out he's not in his normal state. He's drunk. And then he used to tell either one of his attendants, he would tell, go and check if his bottle is still in his carriage. And then Girish would come and sit near Thakur. And then he would send his attendant, because he would say, suppose he asks for drink here, where am I to bring another bottle? So you bring his bottle. And then Sri Ramakrishna would look deeply into Girish's eyes. That look was so deep and acute that Girish would look into his eyes, and after a minute he would say, you destroyed the effects of a whole bottle. He would come into normal awareness out of that totally drunken state just by, the piercing look of Thakur. So this ability to bring us into higher awareness is there in a Brahmagnani, in a realized soul. So one of the easiest ways to go into these things is the proximity of the holy and keeping close to the scriptures and again dwelling on this. It's not like, I have already studied the Upanishad. You may have studied, your mind has not. The mind requires again and again to go into this. Otherwise, it goes back to its old ways. So that's why Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana, again and again and again. We say this, religiously you have to keep doing it. Because the mind requires that kind of training. Don't think I have understood so it's done. We understand, if you understood something by consciousness, you have not understood it. Because it doesn't come under the framework of understanding. It can only come into first-person experience. So an intellectual grasp is good. It will sort of make you do real sadhana. Because once an intellectual conviction is there, that's the best starting point for real sadhana, for real meditative practice, or this Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. So do all this, but here I am telling you the main thing is sadhana. If you are not doing some form of sadhana intensely, very little, and this remains like, it's like a cloud in our mind gets blown away by another cloud. So take care of this. We will study the scripture, along with that we will meditate deeply. And along with that we will constantly keep to this. For the next 7 days, keep other thoughts at bay. Keep them out of your mind. Because don't get carried away by them. Don't go to your phone and listen to, I'm telling you, our whole purpose is to get out of this state of overstimulation of the senses and mind. Only minimal what you require, that much alone. A few minutes a day. The rest should be given to this. Retreat means this. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, from time to time, if you live like this, you will get a very good grasp on all of this. Not just the scripture, but there will be a subjective experience for you to, you see, once you have it, it becomes part of your memory. And these are memories which don't fade. A spiritual experience is like that. Again and again it will pop up in your mind and lift our consciousness. So these are the ways in which we intensify our spiritual life. And this is the purpose of the retreat. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Now let us go into the Upanishad. Once you have a good idea of what our philosophies are trying to move towards, in fact even science is doing the same thing. Fundamentally it is asking, well, what is the nature of consciousness? Who is it who's interacting with the outer world? Now the same questions are coming up in the Upanishads. How does my mind think? How do my senses function? See, these are all very rational inquiries, isn't it? Who's the cognizer? I know everything about cognition. It's part of psychology. It's part of neuroscience. But who's the cognizer? How do I know? How do I know the knower? See, these are called existential questions. You know, the nature of these questions is they are mind quakes. They will quake your mind. Like earthquake, it shakes the earth. These are mind quakes. They will shake your mind. Because they are existential questions. They go beyond mind. They are pointing to something beyond your mind. I told you, the nature of awareness is it goes far beyond mind. And mind can only produce concepts. Awareness is not a concept. So what happens is, when you dwell on all these things, you go beyond mind, in a way. So to be able to generate all these things, it is required to train the mind. Upanishads come with a huge this thing. You might have already heard of it, what is called Sadhan Chatushtay. In this primary class, the first class of Kenopanishad, I better mention it. The Upanishadic study required in the Vedic age, first of all, you be established in the Vedangas, different branches of learning, that other different philosophies, and then Sadhan Chatushtay. Sadhan Chatushtay means Vivek, Vairagya, Shat Sampati, which is a group of 6 qualities, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and finally Mumukshutva, which is the deep desire for liberation of the mind. Understanding the nature of how bound we are mentally and the compulsive modes of our mind, I want liberation. So this package must be there already. This is the preliminary requirement for, you know what all these words mean, isn't it? I don't have to go into that. Vivek, you know, ability to discern philosophically between what is real, what is unreal. See, if we are not even able to discern between right and wrong, how do you think you can discern between what is real and unreal? Today's world is suffering from this only. Basic moral disciplines, if they are lacking, if I don't know why I should live in a particular way, if there is absolutely no achar and maryada in life, then it's very difficult to come to Vedanta. It's not an intellectual exercise. So this fundamental base should be there. For any study, you see, you require ability to produce great concentration. So for that, Vivek and then Vairagya, which means Vairagya is not running away somewhere. It is about keeping sense objects at a distance. Because, so that they don't color our mind and our intellect and carry us away. That this is important. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, every page you will find this. It's a book on Vairagya. Vairagya is Jnana, you should know. That is knowledge. Because if the mind is maintained like that, it will reveal the higher truths of life. Otherwise, it will become stupid. If we constantly give in to sense objects and sense pleasures, the mind will become stupid, ultimately. So take care of this. Vivek, Vairagya, and Shat Sampati includes Shama, control of mind, Dhamma, control of senses, Uparati, Rati means going towards outer objects. Uparati means turning inward. Titiksha means forbearance. Ability to bear all the polarities of life because I have such an important spiritual goal to attain. That stable mind. Titiksha, Shraddha, faith in the knowledge we are pursuing. Shankaracharya calls it Astikya Buddhi. Asti, in that you have faith, the truth of existence. And then Samadhan is deep concentration, focus. The mind is stable enough to manufacture riveted attention. It's not jumping from object to object. See, these are the preliminary requirements for Vedanta. And then Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva means I want that kind of a liberation of mind. I won't settle for small goals because the nature of life is such, no matter what you get, you will be asking what next. This is the nature of objects and this is the nature of the human mind. See, now our cats and dogs don't do this, isn't it? Animals don't do this. Their stomach is full, they are fine. They will rest. They don't ask existential questions. Only we do it. Why? We have gone beyond the reptilian and limbic brain. Yes, the prefrontal cortex is so active, we can't remain satisfied with just sense objects, sense joys. Can, a child may be very happy with an ice cream. Can we be very happy with an ice cream? It's hardly any kind of joy actually, isn't it? So why is this happening? It's only because the prefrontal human cortex is so well developed, the nature of our experiences has changed. So a really developed mind means this. But there are very many human beings also with just the reptilian brain and just the limbic brain active. So the limbic brain is where our survival instincts remain. And reptilian brain is where the very basic instincts of life are there. So these get, you see, as we develop in thought, as we develop in intelligence, we transcend this level. These get deactivated and the prefrontal cortex comes into dominance. So that is when, all these things will matter a lot. Existential questions of life, deep penetrating insight into something, higher intelligence, higher cognition, clarity of mind. This will be your everyday experience and real intense bhav, higher emotion, devotion to God. This will become natural. Otherwise only the same silly rut of, I told you, overstimulation. So never reduce yourself and limit your capacities. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Udhret Atmana Atmanam. You have to raise yourself by yourself. How do we do it? By committing ourselves to this kind of a higher life. So these are all preliminaries of Vedanta. See, unless we are well established in these preliminaries, we can't benefit fully from the study. Because if I keep talking of consciousness, but the mind is brooding over something, how will you ever manufacture an insight into consciousness? So first, getting out of that mode. Getting into the really intelligent mode. This is important. And then, once these preliminaries are practiced, once we are sort of, fine-tuned to the higher aspects of life, then we begin the study of the Upanishad and it will yield great fruit. So this Upanishad, because it goes directly into the nature of truth, it is asking fundamental questions like Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshu shrotra kau devo yunakti Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. See, mind, how does my mind function? Impelled by what does my mind perceive objects? See, what a fantastic question it is. Think and see. Which means, is there a cause behind the mind which makes the mind function the way it does? Now see, suppose I am perceiving a tree. Now I'm perceiving the tree due to what? Because the tree is out there. Is it out there and so I'm perceiving it? Or am I laden with such equipment that I see a green tree out of some stimulus which is out there? And this you have to think about deeply. If you want to understand the gravity of what they are saying, you must think originally like this. Is there an object out there which makes it perceptible to me, or am I laden with equipment which makes that perception of that object possible? What do you think the answer should be? Should the answer be, no, the object is out there, that's why I'm seeing it? You know, a cat sees that as a grey tree. So is it green or grey? Owl doesn't see a green tree at all. It just suspects something is there because of its echolocation apparatus. So according to the equipment we are laden with, we are perceiving. And actually, is that object green? See, green is the rejected electromagnetic radiation. The actual color of that tree is what it has absorbed, but you will never get to see it. You only see it through the rejected light, which your retina grabs, perceives. So green is my making. Tree also is the making of my mind. Which means I am only seeing an interpretation of my senses and mind. What is there originally as it is, I will never get to see. This much we should understand. That my mind and senses interpret any object for me, and the brain reconstructs reality for me. So when actually the Advaita Vedanta says Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, they are not saying anything poetic or fantastic. They are actually, it's a statement of fact. Things are not what they appear to be. To your equipment it is appearing like that. That's fine. Yes, I can only see a green tree because my senses are, and mind and brain are hardwired to perceive it that way. That is all. That is the truth. So it is more appropriate to say, I see a green tree than to say there is a green tree there. This is the truth of perception. Science will tell you this. You don't have to come to Vedanta. Vedanta goes far beyond science. Simple science, physics will tell you this. It's called the perception theory. Because you are only perceiving rejected electromagnetic radiation and so much of mediation happening. You see, it falls on your retina. There's an inverted image. Then the waves are carried to the visual cortex in your brain through the thalamus. Then that brain somehow it interprets a green tree. And the cat similarly sees a grey tree. And the owl similarly sees something else. So what is there actually nobody knows. But I see a green tree. Isn't it a brain's reconstruction? Mind's interpretation? So what they are trying to tell us, see, the very first mantra of the Kena Upanishad is trying to tell us what is behind mind, which makes the mind function the way it does. Is there some source factor like that? Which makes my mind see, my senses see what they are seeing. And Kena Prana Prathama Praiti Yuktaha, what makes this vitality function the way it does? My vital energies, we feel an energy within us which is sort of coursing in our veins. Because when the energy is optimal, you don't recognize it. Energy is of course invisible always. But you feel its presence. When we are down with a fever or something like that, you feel vitality has reduced, isn't it? So there is something in us which makes us feel vitally alive from within. This is called prana. So this is an energy which has been extensively studied in Sankhya and Vedanta. Why they have studied this? It's part of our internal mechanism. In science, we study all external energies, isn't it? Solar energy, nuclear energy, electromagnetic energy. We study all of this. In Vedanta, you are studying the internal energy, the vital energy, pranic energy. So now he is asking the question, what impels my pranic energy to move the way it does? to function the way it does. See, it is illuminating me from within, making me feel alive. And what is it that makes my mind function the way it does? See, they are wonderful questions. Think and see. Do we ask such questions? Because, knowledge is pumped into us by force from childhood. There's no original thinking at all. We just learn about the world of objects. We never learn about who's seeing the world of objects. We learn about the thoughts of others. We never learn about who's the thinker. We learn everything about sense objects and how the cognitions. We never think about the cognizer. The mental world, psychology studies, but it doesn't study who is it who's studying. This is our problem. But Upanishad entirely focused on who's the cognizer, who's the interpreter, who's the perceiver. So you see, they are studying at a very different level. To be able to generate this kind of knowledge, original questioning. See, this is the glory of both science and Vedanta. If there is an original question, the answer will hit you. It will come to you. If there is no original question, the answer may be in front of you, it won't hit you. So let us make the inquiry within ourselves first. At least some fundamental basic inquiry like this. How is it that I know the thoughts of my mind? Who knows? See, I know the thoughts happening in my mind, isn't it? Today morning I was very happy. I meditated well. After that I was not so happy. Who is the one who is knowing this? Who is the one who experiences the different states of mind? See, fundamental inquiry. This is very important. When I am happy, who acknowledges it is happy? When I am sad, who acknowledges it is sad? Don't go with the story your mind tells you. I was sad because of this person. Don't go into that. It will take you somewhere else. Only go into who's experiencing the happiness or the sadness. Who feels the energy in this system? And who is the perceiver behind all perceptions? Who is the cognizer behind all cognitions? So if this kind of original inquiry is made, you see at once now what they are going to tell us will make a lot of sense. So the very beginning, opening verse of Upanishad is saying, Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha, impelled by what? Does the mind move and function as it does? And Kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha, Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti, chakshu shrotra kau devo yunakti. By what is my speech impelled? Have you ever thought of this? How do I speak? Because of my vocal cords? What's the source of my vocal cords? So the whole picture which Vedanta gives you is, fundamentally you are pure consciousness that reflects in the mind and makes it luminous. That luminosity, mental awareness, reflects in your senses. So senses appear bright and claim they are doing all the function. That again reflects in the object and makes you feel the object is out there. The source of this entire process is the self. It is the seat of your perception and mentation, is what they'll tell you. But to discover this, you must turn the mind inward. Through this process of inquiry, see, the glory of self-inquiry, vichara, it begins with the mind but ends in the self. And nothing else is required. If inquiry is like that, we will come to self-knowledge. And if there is no original inquiry, nothing will make much sense, I'm telling you. That's why Upanishads are for the super intelligent. So this is what they are telling us. Find the source, the primordial cause of all causes. Don't say your eyes are seeing. Something impels your eyes to see. Something impels your ears to hear. Something impels your mind to think. your vital energies to function. Find that primordial cause. This is the whole message of Upanishad. And how they will go step by step into this? See, that is again the cause of your speech, the primary cause of your speech, the primary cause of your sight, hearing, your tongue, taste, what you smell, and all your motor activity. That is the primary cause. It is also the cause of what you think, what you feel. And every experience of your life is due to the presence of consciousness. So it is the supreme impeller from within of everything you are doing. It is also the cause for all of your mind activity. So the ahankar feeling in us also is due to the light, finally the light, luminosity of the self. You posit something to yourself. You sort of assume you are doing a particular action. But actually speaking, it is only consciousness, impelled by the light of consciousness, all this is going on. And to be able to grasp this in first person experience, not merely as a concept as we are doing now, but I feel the truth of this. Finally it is a felt experience which impacts the entire system. So it is possible to experience the self. It is possible. Many people ask this question. I was asked this question, that is it a knowledge or an experience? Finally, self, Atman, is it a knowledge or is it an experience? See, it is only knowledge because it is already existing. If it was not existing, you would have had to find it. It's already existing, so only you have to know it exists. It is knowledge alone. But this knowledge is such, because it is a first-hand knowledge, first-person knowledge, it impacts the body, mind and produces an experience. So it is also an experience. So the example I gave was, suppose you were wearing a very costly necklace, 10 crore necklace, but you forgot you were wearing it. And then suddenly you remembered, oh, my necklace, and you started saying, where did I leave it? Where did I leave it? Then your friend came and pointed out, oh, you're wearing the necklace. Why are you searching for it? Then what happened? You came to know it is already there. So it produced great delight in your mind. And so much of euphoric delight that the entire body and mind became prafulla. So you see, knowledge and experience it is. Just knowing already existing truth will result in this kind of an impact. So self-knowledge, it's a huge science. Vedanta is the science of consciousness. And yoga is the technology, the praxis which Sankhya and Vedanta schools use for the transformation of human consciousness into divine consciousness. So with this, let me end this session, and afternoon we'll have Q&A. Om Shanti Shanti.